Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. It's a beautiful sunshiny day. It is currently -6 Celsius, which feels like -12 with the wind chill factor, which means in Fahrenheit is 21 degrees, but it feels like 10. So it's a little bit on the chilly side today. I'm glad I'm in the house, sort of. Good morning, Belinda. Nice to see you. Although the greenhouse yesterday, without putting on any heat in it, went up to 18 degrees. So, of course, I wasn't out in the greenhouse yesterday, but I may head there today for a little bit. Hey, Anne, Susan, Miriam, nice to see you guys. So today we pulled like snippet rolls for the what we were doing today. And since we've done the paper snippet rolls in January, and I figured that we've done that one, I thought I would attempt to do a fabric one today. I'm sorry I didn't get the list up very early. Normally I have it up Friday or Saturday. I was so busy making bits for collage fodder that I totally forgot about it until this morning. Hey, Brenda, nice to see you. So I'm sorry I'm late. But I think that the stuff that I threw out there was pretty minor, like just normal stuff we've got kicking around. So I cut up a couple of strips of this black. It's a cotton blend fabric. I'm going to use that as my background. I also pulled out this. It's not muslin. It's also a poly blend. I believe it was the backing of a bed ruffle or something like that. It was a backing from something that I chopped up and I was using as quilt square bases. So I've got that. I'm thinking maybe I want to do a little bit of quilting, hand quilting. So I thought that I would pull this out just in case. I don't know. So I cut my strips. They are about 3 inches, approximately 3 inches, just under 3 inches, because I want to put them on the spool, one of the spools. I don't know how long it's going to be. That's why I cut the second strip in case I want to add it. The thing is that once I've done it, what am I going to do with it, right? I don't normally use fabrics in my journals. Maybe I'll start. I do use fabrics on tassels. We'll see. We're winging it, guys. Today is a wing it down the rabbit hole. Okay? So that's going to be my base. So what did I pull out to play with? I pulled out lace. I've got various laces. And I'm going to be hand stitching all this stuff, guys, because, I don't have a sewing machine that works. So normally what people would do is just do a little bit of a hand base or a little touch of glue and then run it through their sewing machine. I'm going to be hand stitching. But I'm just going to be tacking things down and then coming back and embellishing. So I've got some lace. I have these little snippets that came off the sides of the black strip. So there's a little bit of a pattern. I thought maybe a piece of this would be kind of fun and could embroider on the diamonds. I don't know. Thinking. I pulled out this piece of lace. I'm not sure if it was a table runner or what. It seems that it was sewn up this side. So I'm thinking somebody used it as a table runner or maybe a shelf edge. But it's a lovely, lovely piece of lace. I thought maybe I could stitch down a couple of pieces of this and embellish it. I also pulled out a piece of an old skirt. I chopped it up. It's sheer. It's like really sheer. But it was a lovely skirt. It's got gold thread through it. But I was thinking maybe I would cut out like the elephant, stitch it down, and then do some beadwork or something around it. But look at these fun patterns as well. I've got stars and polka dots. So I was thinking with the stars, I have star sequins that I could put like a sequin on top of it. I've got plans. I've got ideas. you know. So I've got this lovely piece of this. That would also be really, really nice in a tassel. I pulled out this gold metallic, it's a rayon thread. It's used for doing bunka. Bunka, I used to sell bunka way back, late 70s, early 80s, probably early 80s, early to mid 80s. And what that is it's Japanese thread painting. So you get this rayon thread, you pull it so that it's fuzzy, and that's what you use for stitching. So then you would stitch it onto a rayon piece of stuff. I actually even have an old catalog because, like I say, I used to sell it. So I'll just, show you. That picture probably has 14 different colors, if not more, of thread in it. And you do it like a paint by number. The threads are all marked. So it would be like a cross stitch kit, that kind of thing, but it's actually an embroidery. I don't know if you can see the stitches. I'm trying to hold it up so that you can see the stitches on the picture. Anyway, I've got a bin of threads that I never used. The catalog's going to get chopped up. But I've got, this one is a gold metallic. I thought it would go nice with this stuff, this piece of fabric. What else did I pull out? I pulled out my bin of, I've been cleaning, guys. Look, I've got stuff in the bin with a handle so I can take it places. So I've got my bag of bling. I've got the tassels that I was working on, the Snippet tassels that Janet Nash started doing, right? So you get a piece of the tassel, you sew stuff onto it, and then you can snip the pieces off and use them wherever. So, or you could just use it as a tassel. Anyway, this is my bin for doing snippet tassels. I've got this yarn that I thought could be fun. It also has like a gold metallic-y stuff in it. Hey, Stacy May, welcome, welcome. So, of course, I've got beads and sequins and buttons and embroidery floss and pearly things, different white threads, and I've got Mardi Gras beads. Thought I had some gold ones, don't know where they are, but those of you who end up with the Mardi Gras beads, I'm going to show you how you can stitch them down onto fabric. So this is stuff I'm going to be using on my snippet roll. I don't know what you guys have handy, but I'm going to kind of talk my way through it as I'm doing it. And hopefully you guys can play along. Of course, you will do it your style, your way. I thought doing on black, I would be more apt to use it than if I just did it on pastels, because you know how I feel about pastels, even though I've got a lot of pastel lace. But look, I've got black lace and a dark burgundy lace. So those are probably going to be more along the lines of what I'm going to use on this. But we'll see. We will see. All right. So let's start by putting some of this stuff down. First of all, let's get a needle and thread so I can tack stuff down. And then once it's down, I'm going to decide how it's going to be embellished. So we'll put the glasses on, just so that I can see, so I can thread a needle or 2 or 4. Take a bit of thread. Nice to see you guys all here. And this is going to be a nice change from doing collage fodder. Seriously, I did that all weekend. All weekend, I played collage fodder. It was great. I had a lot of fun. I got lots of stuff made. So I am going to put a knot in the end. Hey, Sherry, welcome, welcome. And I know that this is not going to be new to a lot of you guys, but it is new to me. It's definitely new to me. Well, I can't say it's new to me. I just have never done a fabric snippet roll. What I have done is this embroidered piece. I've taken a course online, one of those free courses. It was a Fibre Arts course. And what they did was they had you take fabric and paint it, throw paint on it, and then chop the fabric up and put it together where stuff matched, right? And then you embroider it. So I've done this play piece. Hey, Anita, welcome, welcome. So I have my needle threaded. I've tied it knot in the end. I'm going to work with a double strand of thread. I'm going to take this. That was a join. When I got this fabric, it was in a Sequins bin and it had a join right through the fabric. So it was cheaper than, you know, that's an interesting piece too. I might just sew that down because it's kind of fun. All right, let's take a piece of this. About that long. Do you guys make snippet strips? Do you use them? Do you just use them as a cluster? Do you use them as belly bands? What do you use your snippet strips for if you make them? And you know what? I'm going to start in the middle and I'm going to work to both sides. I think that just makes lots more sense to me. So roughly in the middle. And as I say, I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to leave these rows attached because I might want to come in with some red embroidery floss and just, or black, and do running stitches on them. You haven't used them? They take a lot of work, don't they, Anne? I think that I would be more apt to leave it on the roll, but then on the roll, you can't see all the work. You know, I don't know. I really don't know what to do with it. And this does fray beautifully. I love stuff that frays, right? So I'm just going to put this down at an angle. It's going to go over the edge a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm just going to do a couple of back stitches just to hold it down. You've used a simple one? See, some of the snippet strips are so incredible, but they're big, they're huge. They have, you know, lots of stuff, thick stuff. And I don't know that I would want to use one in a journal because it's bulky. So what I think I would use a snippet strip for is a centerpiece on a cover, or you know that. So I am just doing a small running stitch, just up and down, up and down. I don't know if you can see that. I guess I could have used a different color. I'm going to stand up so I can show you. Hey, Marty, welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. So I'm going to hold it tight like this. And I'm just going to take my needle and do a running stitch. So it goes down and up and down and up. And I like it the way it is. So I am just going to put this to the back. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know that it's overworked because I'm a maximalist and I love, you know, the more the better to me, right? But I don't think I would want it inside a journal. I'm just tying a couple of knots. My back is going to end up looking pretty wild in the end. So I could come back and add some quilting to it after. Yay, we got a first piece down. Now this, like I say, I can come and put a little bead in the center of these diamonds. I could do a satin stitch on the triangles. I can do a running stitch or a chain stitch or something along those lines. So I'm just putting bits down right now, and we are going to figure out what to embellish and how after. Yeah. Because I mean, like those funky flowers that I do for paper clips, those are really bulky. Those can only be used on a cover. There's no way that they'll fit inside a journal. Again, I'm just tying a couple of knots. Okay, so now what are we going to add to this? How about if we take a piece of this burgundy lace? It's a dark red burgundy lace, dollar store lace, obviously flat, very plain, nothing really crazy. I think I want to put that down here. Yeah, it's going to hang off as well. It's going to overlap just a little bit so we can still see the black underneath. As I say, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to use the black background more than I would use a white or a neutral color. So I'm just going to tack it down. So it's kind of like doing a crazy quilt, I'm thinking, right? I don't know. So again, I'm just going to tack it to this edge, a couple of little back stitches, just to hold it. And then again, I am just going to do a running stitch along that edge. So it holds the lace down and it's attached to the previous piece of fabric that I put down. Ouch. And the cool thing is, you can make this as thick as you want, right? So I might even put on some of my ribbon roses or something that I've got. And again, I'm just going to stick it through to the back and tie a couple of knots. Oh, look, I got a big ugly thing here. What is that? Can I tighten it? No. Where are you from? What have you done? You know what? It's the back. Not going to worry about it. Told you my back's going to get really funky. So while everybody is here, maybe we should pull a stick for next week. And I promise I will have the supply list up and ready to go on Friday or Saturday. Okay, so we need a color. Somebody, first color, that's the stick I'm pulling. I have green, yellow, purple, pink, red, brown, and neutral. Blue, red, pink, yellow. Yeah, I mean, like this one, I tried to be really good about it, and it's not bad. A lot of that is loose ends. Yellow. All right. Let's find a yellow. Let's do this one way back in the middle here. Napkins. Next week we're using napkins, guys. Napkins. Highway. We're doing napkins next week. We're going to take this blue one and we're going to put it in the used bin. That away. Next week we'll be using napkins. Okay, so I've done that. So those kind of look cute together. Now I think I need something really wild. Something kind of on the wilder side. I'm trying not to I'm trying to do a variety of not just a couple of colors. I've got this bag as well. Let's take a hunk of red. Let's add some red. As I say, we're just doing the beginning part here. What about if I go? That's too thin, that little wee point there. And I'm going to put that all the way to there. So let's just cut it here. Cut it across there. Okay, so I'll do this and I'll put one more piece here and something there, and then we'll embellish this part of it so that you can see how everything goes together. So I am going to put it just beside that black row. I am leaving the raw edge because if it frays, it frays, and it's going to be interesting. Can you get out the cupboard now? Why are you in the cupboard? Did you shove her in a cupboard? Okay, so as I said, I want this here, there, right there. So again, I'm going to come from the back. Just do a running stitch to tack it down. Okay. See, my thread's doing that funky thing. Why are you doing that funky thing? There we go. There we go. My fingers are so dry. The thread's getting caught on my fingers. Isn't that horrible? And I've been using lotion. But because I wash my hands so often, because I'm always covered in glue or whatever, it just, and of course then if I'm cooking, I don't use lotion because I don't want that stuff in my food. All right, so now I've got the red down. Doesn't look like much of anything yet, does it? But that's fine. It is fine. Okay, so that was that other one that we had, right? It's not this one. I'm not creating lots and lots of loops, but this loop that's here, I can tell is going to bother me. I'm going to tie a knot in it close to the fabric, then I'm going to cut it off. Good enough. Good enough. Again, this is the back. If it turns out to be an exquisite piece that I don't, that I just want to hang on the wall, then I will back it. Hey, Dusty, nice to see you. Nice to see you guys. Glad you're here. Okay, so let's take this and let's take a chunk of this star stuff. We can tuck it under there, over there, under here. I think so. I think so. So I'm going to trim it off here. And I don't want very much because it's a snippet strip. We don't want huge pieces, right? So I'm going to take it to there and to there. Once this is down, I'm just going to tack this one down and then we're going to embellish. I think that'll go under there and under there. All right, I'm just going to do a quick running stitch along this and then we'll embellish. We'll do some embellishing. That's going to be the exciting stuff. It's going to be the fun stuff. So I'm going to go here because these don't quite overlap nicely. So there's no point in doing that. And yeah, you can see all my stitches, but I think that's kind of what you want when you do a snippet strip, is to see the stitching and the embellishing and everything, right? I don't know. As I say, I'm winging it. Dog. Ah, 615 what? What did you do 615 of? That's a lot of things to do. Stacy, what are you guys doing? Inquiring minds want to know. Is anybody else doing the 100-day project? Am I the only crazy one in the group? Oh, I got a mess. Kim's got a mess. Surprise! Ah, there we go. There we go. I was just trying to tie a knot in that. It's good. Oh, 6 games. Oh, okay. All right. So let's start adding stuff. This piece of thread's not going to do me much good. It's just a wee little tiny thread, but it's going in the thread bin. Because sometimes you want just like little things to make like birds' nests and things, right? I think we're going to add some of these purple. Show you how I use the Mardi Gras beads. Oh no, I lost it. Lost the end of the thread. I've got no nails. I'm just falling apart here, guys. How come I could thread this really easy the last time and this time it's being a pig? We all know pig isn't the word I want to use. So now I'm just going to be using short lengths of thread. The reason being is I'm using it for tacking things down. My thread is old, and if I use like a meter of thread, I end up with big knots and lots of uglies on the back. And I don't want to be conditioning it while we're doing this. Bingo! All right. Oh, thanks. I have a room behind me that is full of fabric because I used to quilt and I used to sew like denim jackets and like patchwork jackets, all kinds of stuff. So it's back there. So these Mardi Gras beads are those kinds of beads that don't move, right? So you can stick them anywhere and you're not going to run the risk of having them scatter, which is a good thing and a bad thing because I would like to be able to string these and use them in all kinds of stuff. But that doesn't work. Okay, Stacy. So what do we want to do with this? How about if we just run a few right there? Can you see that? I will hold it up. So I've got this piece that kind of overlaps, but not quite. So I was thinking of just running. I like the way this piece of lace sticks up at the end, so don't want to tack that down. But I was thinking of running some beads there. Does that make sense? So I would cut it there. So I would have 5 beads. Yes, no? You're doing watercolor painting? That's awesome. One day I will learn to do that better than I do it. There's so many things I want to do, guys. You have no idea what my area looks like. Well, I'm sure you could imagine, but you really have no idea what my area looks like. So since I'm going to be starting over here, I'm going to pull my thread through. And again, just do a back stitch. Just to hold in place. Yeah, my sister gave me a big bag of Mardi Gras beads because her and her husband went to Mardi Gras a couple of years. They've got a motorhome and they travel a fair bit. And I had no idea what I was going to do with them, so they sat in a bag. Then the local daycare was looking for Mardi Gras beads because they were doing a Mardi Gras thing with their kids. So I gave them a whole bunch, but I still have a fair bit left. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold this in place, put my thumb on the end of this one bead to hold it where I want it. I'm going to take the thread and I'm going to go between where the beads are and go back in. Bra? Who's bra? And I'm going to do that twice because we want to make sure that they stay where we want them to. Now, when I do my bead work, when I do my bead embroidery, after every 2 stitches, we tie a knot. Just in case it comes apart, whole rows of beads don't come out, right? So I'm going to go to do the next stitch. So I'm going to pull it up, and I am going to go between the next 2 beads over that string, because we're just locking them. We're not stitching into them or anything. We're just locking them into place by going over the strand between. Come on. I lost it. There we go. Okay, so we're just going over the strand between the beads. And we're not pulling tight. If we pull tight, what's going to happen is they fold up and they stick up. So again, we're going to do another stitch to hold them there. Then we're going to flip it to the back and we're going to tie a knot. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, tricky but simple. So now we're going to go up again. And down between the beads. We didn't cut the string, the thread, but we're just going to do the same thing. Up and down twice. And you can pull it firm, but don't pull it tight, if that makes sense. Because if you pull it tight, like I say, they're going to fold up. And then we're going to do the very last one. Yeah. I'm just going between them and holding the threads down. I don't know how best to show you. See, I'm going up one side and across the thread and down the other side. And I do 2 stitches between each one. Does that make sense? Focus, you silly thing. Ooh, a little too close. There we go. You can see the stitches between the beads. So then after every 2, I tie a knot. So, of course, I kind of wanted it to go closer to this, but that's okay. I could come around and do some sort of embroidery or something else there. But I mean, with those beads, you certainly don't want that in the middle of a journal because that's crazy. So, if any of you have those Mardi Gras beads that you're wondering what the heck you're going to do with, that's something you can do with them. Stitch them down to fabric, just like that. You know, actually, maybe on one of my tassels I'll do that because I was wondering how I could get the beads to hang like a strand of beads. So if I stitch it down really good between two, and I mean really tight, the rest would hang down nicely, right? Like, grab a tassel. Grab a tassel. So say I had it on this piece of purple. If I stitched it really tight there between the beads, that would hang down like another part of the fringe, right? Oh, Mardi Gras beads. I get it. No, Gras. Gras, yes. It's a party in New Orleans? New Orleans. I don't know. I've never been. So that's fun. So let's get some star sequins. Of course. Is that the one bin I didn't pull? Let me just grab my jar of star sequins. I hope that doesn't fall over. You know, for somebody who doesn't really do a lot of hand sewing or fiber arts, I sure love sequins. I've got sequins. Every time I see a new kind of shape, I have to get the sequins. So this has lots of lovely stars. I'm going to be using the gold because it's got the gold thread. Although I could use some purple because of the Mardi Gras beads. But if you see, I will hold this up. I will put this purple star on, just laying them lightly. And the gold one, look how nice they cover those stars. They're almost the same size. Yeah. And you know what? They look great on the back of a journal. Like I've got it on this journal. And so I've just been adding stuff, a little bit of embroidery and whatever. I just like having it. It's just a lovely big chunky tassel with all kinds of stuff. Those I like making because they really don't take much time. You just tie a tassel up and oh, thanks. Okay, so should I use the purple or the gold? You know, I could probably put gold sequins on the red or a gold bead on the red and then purple on the black because it's got the gold threads going through. Let's do that. Now we need to figure out what color bead to use. These are just plastic beads. A lot of times I don't use my glass beads when I do this kind of thing because it adds so much weight. But I do like using glass beads when I do my bead embroidery. So the thing is we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stars. So I need 6 beads the same. I don't know. I'll find something. Now, I had a needle and thread right here. You guys know how to sew on sequins, I'm sure. So, I don't know. Do you do bent side up or flat side up when you use your sequins? I like the bent side because it's got that little bit more texture. The flat side to me looks pretty darn boring. You know what, Belinda? If I spill them, I spill them. Then what I do is I put like a nylon stocking kind of thing over the end of the back vacuum, and I do the floor. If I so desire, sometimes I can't be bothered. Sometimes I can. Okay, so I'm going to go up in the middle of the star on the fabric. I don't even know if I want to put sequins on all of it. We're going to start with this one and that one and this one, and we'll decide if we want to do the other two. So then we put on the sequin. See, that's very, very close to the beads, but that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be close to the beads. And I have little black plastic ones. I think a black center would be cute. Watch. I'll want the black ones. So you go up through the sequin, through the bead, back down through the sequin. I caught my knot. You pull it snug. Then you go back up through again, through the bead and down. Now, if you're just doing the one sequin and the bead, you could tie it off there. I'm going to go over to, you know what? I am going to tie it just in case I decide to cut it, right? That's the thing with snippet rolls. You never know where you're planning on cutting it, so it is best to do the knots then, because that way it just makes sense. Okay, we're going to go over to this one. I'm not going to cut the thread on the back because then I have to do another knot. And I'm hoping that this is going to be enough to go through. Okay, purple sequin, black bead, back through the sequin and the fabric. Oh, don't pull it too tight because then it puckers that. Surprise, I should know better. And then back up. Now, I probably should have tied a knot. Oh, well. We'll find out after that if I cut there, I will lose this sequin and bead because there's no knot between the two. Okay, why won't you go through the sequin? Up. Keeps going underneath. I want it to go. There we go. Through the sequin. Through the bead. Through the bead. I don't know where the hole for the bead is. I can't see it. There we go. Through the bead. We're winging it. Guys, we're winging it. You know. And then back through the sequin and the fabric and tie a knot. Organizing? I was organizing this morning. I actually cleaned up a whole bunch of space here because I didn't have much room on my desk to play. And I know that doesn't surprise any of you. So we're going to tie a double knot. Try and get it as tight to the fabric as you can. Now, when I first did it, I pulled it a little bit tight. You can see this is tight. Got a little bit of a pucker in it. I don't think it's going to matter too much. But that's kind of cute already. Let's do this. You know what? I'm going to put the big light on overhead because that one, as nice as I like it for working, it makes it really hard for you guys to see exactly what I'm doing. Let's try this again. You're going to get a little bit of a shadow now, which I try and eliminate. Okay, so you can see the gold threads. You can see the sequin and the beads. Thanks, Belinda. So you know what? I think I do only want one more sequin on here, because with the beads there, it could be overpowering, if you know what I mean. Okay. Put the ends together, tie them. Now we have to decide what the heck we want to put on top of this red. Thoughts? I think it needs something round. All I've got are white buttons here, I think. And sequins, lots of sequins. I have lots of sequins. And I do try and get it as close to the center of the star as possible. Purple sequin. Black bead. Come on. Looking for ones with the holes sticking up because they're easiest to grab. Okay, so I've got the sequin, the bead. Can you see? Yes, no? Sequin bead, back through the sequin. Pull it snug. Oh, see, I caught my knot again. Okay, pull it snug. Then we're going to go back up through the sequin. Up through the sequin. Through the bead. Oh, it's around the point of the star. And then back. Oh, see, it's twisting on me. When your thread gets old and it's been on the spool a while, it has a tendency to want to stay twisted. It's annoying. And then you go back through the sequin. I have a bubble in my thread on the wrong side. You don't want a bubble on the right side of your work. I have a knot in it is why. There we go. There we go. And then you pull it tight. So you don't really see, oh, that's really sparkly. You don't really see the thread through the bead. You see it a little bit, but it's pretty hidden. I mean, I could have used a black thread, but then you guys definitely wouldn't see what I was doing. All right. Tie a double knot. As snug as possible. Cut your thread. So I would consider this little bit, right? This one little corner here is done. Because it's got bling, it's got the beads, it's got the sequins. I need something fun here. And I think this is going to get embroidered. So while we're thinking of what I want to put on that, we're going to put this stuff away. The other lid. Oh, thanks, Marty. I just want to use up stuff I've got, right? Like, I haven't bought any of this stuff. I didn't go out purposely to buy this stuff. I've had this stuff in my stash for a very, very long time. Having a granddaughter, she was really into the sequins. We put sequins on all kinds of stuff for her. Okay, so how about if I get some of this yarn. This yarn is fun. It's the stuff people were making necklaces and things out of, right? And I think I'm going to take a piece of this and I'm going to stitch it down along that edge. I'm just going to trim that. And I'm going to leave the dark colors on it. Do you see it? Do you see the yarn? I'm just going to stitch that down. You're off. Okay, Marty. Take care. See you soon. So I'm now just going to stitch this down. Let's get the needle and the thread back. Mardi Gras. Awesome. Is anybody playing along? Just wondering. Just wondering. So I'm just going to go up through the dark thread and just over a little bit and down. So you'll still see my white stitch. But it's not going to be super visible. I'm just using very, very small stitches for this. Can you see that little white stitch? So I'm just going to do that on all the blue bits of yarn. Small, tiny white stitch just to hold it in place. Hope I'm not too confusing for anyone. Okay, I want to move that over just a bit. Okay, so we got a little white stripe there. It's okay. And of course, we can come back with buttons. We could come back with broken jewelry. We could come back with, there we go. All kinds of things on here, right? Interruption monster keeps invading. Oh no. You're babysitting the pup again? Oh, got a knot. See, even with short pieces of thread, I'm having issues. So I'm trying to hide the running stitch a little bit on the red and cover up this edge on there. so that this piece of yarn is doing double duty, hiding the stitches there and the raw edges. Inchies? No, I am making a snippet strip. So I'm going to be working along this whole piece, doing various stitches and things like that. Oh, okay. Not pup sitting. Doing a snippet strip. And I've never done one before. No, I was asking Anne. Sometimes she babysits her fur baby, her grandbaby, her daughter's pup. Now, if you are just using a regular yarn to cover up an edge, you would do something like this. You would have the yarn along the edge, and you would just do a whip stitch over in various places to keep it tacked down. Can you see that? Does that make sense? So snippet strips, you could use scraps of anything at all. If you have the patience to tack everything down. Not sure that I'm getting a decent color match or not, Belinda. I like the pop of red. I really, really do like that pop of red. You know what I'm thinking might be very cute on there? If I made one of those little bows, like the fork bows, out of that gold thread, and put a little bow on there. Yeah, I would have done it. Well, first off, I wouldn't have my sewing machine on alive because both my sewing machines are ancient and they're not very quiet. Yeah, I'll show you how I do that. I'll do that on another seam. We'll add a gold bow and then we'll add a couple more pieces of fabric and things. And I will show you how I do that. Okay, so now I am going to turn it over and tie a knot. Now I wish I'd pulled up more Mardi Gras beads. But that's okay. So you can see everything we've added. We've got sequins, we've got those Mardi Gras beads, we've got the fabric, some lace, the yarn. Okay, so I've got just a little piece left. I think that will be enough to attach the bow. We'll see. We will see what happens. Okay, so let's grab a fork. Grab a fork. I have the fork. Let's find an end. Oh, look, there's a bead. I didn't have to spill them. Oh, thanks, Belinda. Okay, let's do one of those bow things. So we take it and we hold it down at the bottom of the fork. We go around, through. You know what? I think I want a double bow this time, so I'm going to do a figure 8. And then we're going to cut it. We're going to get these loops all together. We're going to go at the top here and out the bottom. Go in the middle at the top and out the bottom. Right? Pull it tight. We've got this one. It can go through the top as well. And we're going to tie a knot. Okay, so I'll have a 3-looped bow. It's okay. It's going to be a little clustery, loopy thing, and that's all that I really wanted. Oh, that one didn't get caught in there. If I pull it tight. Okay, so I've got a double bow with a double knot. Interesting. And I'm going to trim this piece down like this. Got just a nice little loose bow. Yes, paper quilling works good with a fork. So I think I want it just a little bit smaller, so we'll see if I can lower these loops a little bit. Nope. It wants to stay the way it is. That's perfectly fine. So we're going to put it down, and we're going to stitch it down. So I'm going to come up from the back. Again, I've got the knot in the thread, so it will anchor it. We're going to figure out where we want the bow. And I'm going to go through that knot 2 or 3 times in various places. Because I really do want that bow to hold together. Okay, so I want that string down, that string down. Okay, so I want the bow to look like that. So I'm just going to keep coming up and down and tacking it in place. Yeah, bows are picky things, aren't they? They really are picky things. It appears that this white thread really doesn't show very much. So it's doing exactly what I want it to. Just holding stuff in place. Well, I think that's going to hold it sufficiently. And I'm going to tie a knot. And another knot. Oh, that didn't get very close. The thread is too short for me to get the knot as close to the fabric as I want, so I'm removing the needle so that I can get as close to the fabric as I can with the knots. And since the other one isn't quite where I want it, I'll do another one. There we go. And we'll just trim that end. That's little. Okay. What you thinking, folks? I like that gold on the red, even though it does remind me of Christmas. Let's take another piece of this stuff. We'll put it on this side. We'll put some here. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, this is the side I cut from. Was it? Doesn't really matter. I'd really like to have an elephant intact. So I might just do that. That's a big piece, though, isn't it? That's quite a big piece. But it would be nice. Ideas? Yes, no? With the most material is not sewed fast enough? Exactly. Exactly. My sister has an extensive fabric stash. You know what? I'm going to use this elephant. So I'm going to trim there. I'm going to go between the two of them. But I want that black strip there to stay where it is. Now, I really want to do something with this piece, some embroidery or something. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to stitch this around, just a running stitch. They would be nice for doing a gift wrapping. They really would. So another piece of thread, thread the needle, maybe. All right, all right, all right. So again, like I say, this is just going to be the tacking down running stitch all the way around that piece of fabric so it stays where it is. Okay, double knot. Go to the top here. And I did fold it over a little bit. I didn't leave a raw edge on that side this time. Again, I'm just going to do a couple of little back stitches just to make sure it stays where I want it to. Again, running stitch. Okay, Wade, nice to see you. Maybe one time I'll get the pronunciation of your name correctly. Thanks for coming. How's the quilt coming, Anne? Did you get a chance to work on it this weekend? Okay, so that's tacked down really nicely. I'm just going to go quickly around the edges, or this edge anyway, because I didn't cut enough thread to go all the way around. Now this elephant is pretty decorative with the gold threads going through it. I don't know how much embellishing. Maybe if I embroidered just the outline in a bright color. You did work on it? Oh, you have to make that real complicated? Use the border pattern instead of just your blocks? Is that what happened? What I'm finding is quilts for king size beds aren't big enough. I'm going to have to make a quilt for our bed. Okay, so I've got them stitched. So now I want to show you how to put that piece of yarn down. We got a lot of blingy stuff happening here. But I just want to put down a piece of yarn. I've got this yarn. I was thinking of just doing some embroidery, like some top stitching with this yarn because it's got all the colors in it. This is the stuff we used on Friday that untwists so bad. Oh. No, I get it. You're doing 2.5-inch strips. You are making new fabric out of it, and then you will chop it into a border. I get it. I get it. I totally get it. Okay, so this isn't going to work. What else have we got? I could use purple. It's a mauve, but I mean, we've got purple beads, and there's a little bit of purple in this fabric right here. These little triangles are purple. I think I'm going to use this purple. Let's do it. Let's just do it. There's an end. And I just want to go along that seam kind of thing. I am going to do it in a double thickness because I really want it to pop. Wasn't wide enough to hang below mattress. Needed more length. Yeah. Hey, Jean, welcome, welcome. I'm winging it. I am making a snippet strip. And this is what I got so far. I got sequins, some Mardi Gras beads, and a gold bow, some yarn, some fabric, cool elephant. Okay, so I've got this double piece here. What would actually be fun is if I braided it, but we're not going to do that. So I need another length of thread. How are you feeling? Are you still crazy, crazy busy? I'm having up Mardi Gras beads because they're not strung beads, right? They don't move. They're just glued on. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go from the back to the front. And again, I am just going to do a back stitch to tack it where I want it. You ready to start shipping? Excellent. Oh, what a relief. That was a long haul for you. Now I'm just going to take these two pieces of yarn and I'm just going to lay them down where I want them, which is right there. So I seem to like it more when I can do this stitch going this way instead of sideways. I don't know. It's just more comfortable to me, if you know what I mean. So we're going to hold the yarn in place. We're going to take the thread and the needle. We're going to go across the yarn, but back into the hole where the needle just came out of. Does that make sense? And I better not have trouble. I cut too much thread. Too much thread. We're going to pull it tight. pull it tight. So we're holding it down. Can you see it? It's across the thread, the yarn, and it's tight. So now I'm going to move down, quarter inch, half an inch, something, you know. We're not going right on top of each other, but we're not going at the other end. So we bring up the thread, we put it over the yarn again, making sure the yarn is where we want it to be in place. And we go back in, or as close to the hole that we came out of as possible. And we pull it tight. Do you guys see that? And we're going to do it again. We're going to come out that half inch, quarter inch apart, somewhere like that. We're going to go over the yarn. Same thing, back into the hole that we just came out of. Oh, don't go through the yarn. Don't go through the yarn. Go over the yarn. And pull it tight. Whoa. Hey, Renee, nice to see you. What about your Canadian crafters like me? Okay, so that one is a little closer, but you know what? It's fine. It is fine. So we're just going to do that the length of this yarn. Okay, so you pull the thread out, you go over the yarn, back into the hole that you were just in, and pull it tight. Yeah, my stitching is very uneven today. But I don't mind. I kind of like the effect. Kind of like the effect. If you're really, really needing it to be exact, you can measure. I figure if I'm just chopping this up to use for various things, it's going to be very eclectic. See, I've got this big twist. See how that thread is all twisted together? It's going to make just a nightmare for me. So I'm just going to rub my fingers down it a couple of times and untwist it. So you could do this with very, very small stitches between. You could do half-inch stitches. Hey, Teresa. Nice to see you. You're in Alabama? I'm in Canada. But you guys knew that. So you could do this and do shapes. Like, I mean, maybe I should do that with the elephant. Take a yarn and do this around the elephant. You know. Oh, look, I'm stuck to my fork. Let go. You don't want Canada. Yeah. It's not that cold here. It's 21 Fahrenheit. But it's 10 with the wind chill. And I can get one more stitch in. Yeah, it's got lovely elephants and it's got deer or antelope or something. Maybe they're gnus? No. What are those? With the backward horns. You'll stick with your 79? Interesting fabric. I think it'll make great bits for tassels. Okay, so Belinda, that's just how you do it. You just stitch it down like that. Now, of course, the yarn can pull out. So you can go through it a few times, if you want. Or you can just make sure your stitches are really nice and tight so it doesn't want to pull nicely. And then, of course, I will have these fringy things hanging off the edges, which I like. I like them. They're dangly things. And tie it. Don't forget to tie it. Oh, we've got to tie it. All right. So we've got quite an eclectic little happening here. We've got that more of this fabric, but with stars, with the purple sequins and black beads. Got a little bit of Mardi Gras beads. Got this little bit of lace sticking out. We've got a plain piece of fabric with a pattern on it, some yarn, a gold bow on plain fabric. We've got the fun elephant, and we've, I don't know, did somebody say it was coaching stitch? Marty said, I think. So, okay. So this, I wanted to do some embroidery on. So let's do some of that now. Maybe some French knots in the center. These stars, these sequin stars, are really pokey. Really pokey. That red is very plain. So I think I'm going to have to add some more red on both sides. But first, let's do some embroidery on this. But let's use a bright color. So what I'm thinking is if I put a couple of little green leaves and a couple of French knots in each of those diamonds, that could be fun. So I've got green and maybe that bright yellow. We'll use that bright yellow. This, what am I going to use it for when I'm done? That's a very good question. I'm going to roll it up on this thing and put it away and totally forget I've got it. Or I'm going to chop it up and use it as snippet bits in snowflakes. I only do snowflakes at Christmas, then I hang them from my ceiling. So we're going to take some of this green. See, that green matches this greenish stuff on there pretty nicely. It does. I'm going to take this length. Don't need much. Or brown leaves, yeah. Could do the brown. I want a little bit more color, I think. I think that's why I'm doing this. Now, these are fun colors. They're not as brilliant as I would like, but that's okay. So I am splitting the embroidery floss. I want to use 3 strands. Three strands. Doesn't want to play 3 strands. I want 3 strands. There we go. And that pulled apart very nicely because it wasn't a very long piece. Now we need another needle. But I want a needle that I'll be able to get those 3 strands through very easily. This one. I'm not going to do a satin stitch. I was thinking of doing like a lazy daisy chain stitch, just the loop with the knot at the end, like the, because I don't think that in this area, because it's so busy, I don't want it overly elaborate. I just want it there. Does that make sense? I mean, if I was doing a neutral piece of fabric, yeah, I could do beautiful satin stitch leaves and that kind of thing. But since I'm not really sure what exactly this is going to be when it's done, it could just be, I don't know. I just don't know. Just don't know. There we go. Got it threaded. Now, on this tassel, come tassel. On this tassel, what I did, where are you? I had these lovely old cream colored buttons. So on 3 holes, I did green. And the last hole I did a French knot in. Hey, Dana. Oh, no. That's not fun. So I was thinking of doing, just a couple of chain stitch leaves and maybe 2 or 3 French knots. Make it look like a flower. I don't know. We're playing. We're just playing. We can. And this is very, very eclectic. So I'm just going to go in the center. I guess I have to do this one as well. Okay, so we're going to go up and loop back through the hole that we were just in. Off to the side. Make a leaf kind of shape like a chain stitch and then go back in there. Ah, sorry, Teresa, that's never fun. Then we're going to do another leaf here. Back into the same hole. I like wrapping it around my thumb so I know where I am. Off to the side. And you want to come up in the loop. Don't know if you can see that. Kellyanne did a nice series of videos on embroidery. I have a weird twist in that somewhere. I did. I twisted my loop, so I have to do this and detwist it. Detwist it, sorry. Not a very good teacher for embroidery, let me tell you. So I've got my loop. It's kind of garbled. The idea is just to have the hints of green. Okay, so that one didn't chain as nice as I wanted it to. My thread, it's okay. You use a needle threader on your sewing machine? I've got this needle threader. I got it from Lee's Alley Tools. And it seriously works great. I don't always think to do it though. So what you do is you take your needle. I'll show you. They're not very expensive either. But I got this when I was having difficulty with my hand. So you take your piece of thread, you take your needle. We don't need a big needle. Take your needle. You put the eye of your needle. For big needles and small needles, you put your thing there, your needle in. No, you push this down so that this will go through the eye of your needle when it's inside. So you hold your needle and you do this, and then you can't pull your needle out because that's there. Does that make sense? Can you see that? When you push this down, you get these sticky out things. Okay, so it's through the eye of the needle. I can't pull it out. You just hold your thread over it. Hold your thread over it, kind of tight. And anyway, seriously, if it's like this, you leave your thread on that. My hands are so dry, it's my thread sticking to them. And it pulls it through the needle. I need 6 hands here. Tight. Okay, of course it's not going to work because I'm showing you. But seriously, it works really, really good. Also, those little ones with the wire, those work really good for threading needles. I'm really determined to do this now. Anyway, it's got a hook kind of thing on it, or it's supposed to have a hook. Maybe this way. Maybe this way. No. Anyway, can't remember. Oh, maybe it goes like this. No. Anyway, it's been a while since I've used it, obviously. I'll figure it out. Can't see the threader. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Hey, Jen. So, I'm playing Snippet roll. I'm just going to quickly do these leaves. And then we'll do a couple of French knots. I'm just doing like a chain stitch, lazy daisy thing for the leaves. Teresa, have you thought of talking to your women's league at your church and see if somebody could thread you a whole bunch of needles? So you've got pre-threaded needles to use? I know one of the seniors centers here, they have a volunteer that'll go in and thread needles almost all day for people. Even if you had like 4 of them ready to go, so that you could at least sew on a button if you needed to. Or if they did, if you wanted to do some slow stitching for a journal or on a picture or whatever, thread some lengths of embroidery floss or yarn or crochet cotton for you, just so that you could do that. Just a thought. Yeah, I really like that needle threader. I can't remember how it goes though. I'll play with it and figure it out because I know that. Oh no! Look, I went through this back piece here. Now what? Now what? Oh, it's right at the edge. I'm going to cut the fabric. Careful, careful. There we go. Not paying attention is what's happening here. Uh-oh, what did I just do? Well, that didn't work out the way I thought. We'll do that again. So intent on what the heck I was doing that I didn't do it right. Yeah. But I mean, even if you wanted to do like some needlepoint on that plastic canvas or whatever, if somebody would thread you some uh, yarns through the needles, it is a good idea. See, that's what happened. That's what happened. Got a big booger. Now let's see if I can pull these back a little bit to get that loop out of the back. Jan, did you get those angels drawn? A telescope? Are your arms long enough to use a telescope for threading your needles? I have a big loop of thread at the back that I'm trying to work out. Got it, got it, got it. Okay, so I got that. I don't know where all I stitched, what order I stitched in to create that loop. So I'm kind of going backwards here. All right. Are you happy with them? Wow. I don't know what the heck I did. Of course, it's got to be the very last one, doesn't it? Oh, making such a mess. And it's on the right side of the fabric, right? Okay, I'm unthreading the needle and I'm pulling back. Maybe. Because I don't know where I was. Sorry, guys, I got to do this. I need that light on and it flares. Sorry. Oh, yeah, I turned it off. On. All right. This is why I have this big light right here, is so that I can actually see what I'm doing, especially if I've got to pull something back like this. I have such a big knot on here. I'm almost tempted just to cut it off, in which case it would lose all the stitching that I just did because I didn't knot anything. Wasn't I just preaching about make sure you put the knots in so that if you cut it, oh my word. I have no idea what the heck I've done, guys. Ah, there we go. That's one. Now where do you go? I'm pulling back my stitches. Maybe. This is what not to do. Oh my word. I'm sorry, guys. But if I don't deal with this, I'm going to put this piece away and nothing else is going to happen to it. You know how I roll. Ha! I think I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. There we go. Ha! There we go. I got it. I got it. I'm going to tie a knot there. Practice what you preach, lady. Practice what you preach. Yeah, Teresa, my mom and Nan, that was the same thing. But they used to embroider hankies, right? So they had to have things beautiful like that. Now, not so much because people don't use hankies with embroidery on. Cross stitch for sure, because if you were framing it, yeah. There we go. Got it. Woohoo! Happy day. So that last one was tight. That's okay. I just need the green because I'm going to be going back and doing French knots. Okay. Of course, like I say, it happened on the last set of leaves. Last set of leaves. Ha! Done. And done like dinner. Done, done, done. Speaking of dinner, who's cooking what today? Yes. Blind stitching. Especially for hems, right? No. Fried chicken? Oh, nice. Nice, nice. We just finished off the big pot of pea soup I made Sunday. So I haven't had to cook. Awesome. Okay, so I've got leaves. Can you see the leaves on the pinky red triangles? Oh, pardon me. You don't like to cook? No. Oh, shepherd's pie? Awesome. That's something we haven't had for a while. We're having Salisbury steaks today. Okay, getting the yellow so that I can do my French knots. So I want to do 3 or 5 little French knot clusters. Again, I'm going to split this into 3 threads. That would mess with the postal service. You'd have to do like an overnight courier, like Pure later. And of course, the threads I took weren't all from the same side, so we had a little bit of a tussle to get that done. Oh, you don't eat potatoes anymore? We are, what, 60 kilometers, 60 miles? Not very far. Takes about a little over an hour to get to the border. Very close. All right. All right. I'm going to start. Oh, let's put a knot in the bottom. No, it's not too far. Not too far. I think we might do a road trip. Go on putt soon. The weather's been really nice. It's supposed to be in the pluses over the next week. We've got really strange weather. Very strange weather. Are they not on your menu because you can't access them, or they're not good for your um, diet, Miriam? The potatoes. Okay, I'm going to do a French knot. Do you guys know how to do French knots? I can show you. Let's pull this stool up on the table. So you've got your yarn through. Can you guys see this? And then you take your needle and you wrap it. I do it 5 times. And then you go back in the hole that you came out of. You have a nice little French knot. Come on. Don't know how well you can see it. Yes, no? So we're going to do another one. I want to do at least 3 by those pair of leaves. Between 3 and 5. So we come up, wrap it, and go back into the hole. I don't think I got it. Lost it. Got it, lost it. Okay. I'm not teaching this very well, but this is how you do it. This is how I do it. Don't do it like I do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how people manage to do this on sweaters and things. Ouch. Sharp needle, guys. 2 French knots. Oh, I see why I had trouble, because I went into the other one. Ha. Let's move over this time for sure. Okay, Miriam, take care, hun. Nice to see you. Sweet dreams. Into the same hole. So I have 3 French knots and little leaves. Now I'm going to tie a knot. Then I'm going to tie another knot a little bit farther away, just in case I want to cut between these French knots. Now I go to the next set of leaves. Come up. And that knot will hold it at the back. It won't go through. So you can see I can cut between them and I won't lose the knots, the stitching. Okay, so we're going to do this. Wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back in. See, I'm wrapping around those sequins. Come out. Hold the yarn. Wrap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back in where I came out. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Should I have done this with yarn so you guys could have seen it easier? Can you see those? Yes, no? Anyone? Awesome. Okay, so tying your knots as close as possible. Now I'm going to tie a knot a little bit farther away again. About there. Just so that when I go to the next one, like I say, if I want to cut between them, I will have enough room that I'm not going to lose stitching. So that's very cute in there. I wish you guys could see it in person. I really do. Come up close, but not right on top of it. 1,500 miles from Manitoba. That's a fair distance. It is. my needle. Got it. Dropped it. Come on. A big eye beating needle would work? Sure, it would. Tie it flush. I unthreaded my needle. Ah! Ah! Think you'll try it? You know what, Teresa? You could do it with yarn, like use a darning needle and a lightweight yarn, like a sock weight yarn or crochet cotton with a big needle like that. I'm thinking that could be something that you'd be able to see. Uh-oh, I didn't tie a knot far away. Oh well. I don't want to pull the thread back and have to thread it again. It's going to be what it is. So, Jan, you're closer to me than Anne is. Five. You've been to Niagara Falls? Me too. When I had my company, there was a trade show there that I went to. Well, Toronto. And of course, you have to check that other stuff out. Oh, look, I got a big knot, big loops, my yarn split, my thread split. Okay. You can tell it's been a very long time since I have done this, guys. Definitely not in practice. Definitely not in practice. Okay. Fresh knots actually take up a fair bit of thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's getting a little short. I keep stabbing myself with these. I did do the coaching on the yarn. I did. So I was thinking of doing the elephant in yarn, but maybe I'll do another one on the other side with the yarn. This one I'll just, I don't know what, maybe do backstitch or something on them on the outside and backstitch on the inside. We'll see. We'll see. This is a winging it project. 3, 4, 5. Oi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, almost went over a stone wall. Kids, eh? Yeah. I'd love to get a motorhome and do some traveling. Okay, so I'm going to take the needle off and just tie knots because the needle is kind of big. It gets in the way. All right. Trim that down. This little bit is going in my snippet jar, my orts jar. It's really full. I might have to, what the heck's that in there? There's something in there, guys. What is that? Wondering. Oh, it's my cap for doing the paint. Doesn't go in there. I was wondering, I shouldn't have that much stuff in there. Not pokey. You know, visiting. Yeah, that's just it. And like, I'd love to get a motorhome, but I just want it small enough that we can sleep in it and cook in it. Okay, so this is what we've got. We've got that fabric, and we've got the stars sequins. We put the Mardi Gras beads on, a little bit of lace. We did this gold bow and stitched it down. Another piece of yarn that we just did some running stitch, tacking it down. Did this piece of fabric, and I did the little embroideries in the diamonds. Yeah, my sister's got one that size. It's huge. I think they do have to have like a class 3 license for that. Then we did the yarn and the elephant. So I've got, what, this much done. I still need to do something with the elephant. I was going to put red on both sides, so let's get some red and figure out how we want it. Got some of the black showing at the top, but the thing doing it on the black is I can leave that if I want. This isn't stitched down though, so I might, we'll see, right? We'll see. First things first, we need something like this, just like that. Maybe just a red strip, a thin strip, just so it goes top to bottom. And I'm just going to cut it so that it's a red strip. Okay, Teresa, thanks for coming, hon. Hope you have a great rest of your day, if I don't see you later. So this is just going to go straight up and down there. I'm just going to stitch it down with a piece of regular sewing thread. Just do a running stitch. So again, just a regular thread. I'm going to tie a knot in the end. Is it better if I work up here? Okay. So I am leaving the edges raw. I did fold that one under, but this one I'm leaving raw. It doesn't really fray much, a little bit, but it's not bad. I want that kind of going up and down. Okay, so we come through. You can see how this is wanting to twist already. Let's just run it along, my fingers along it, see if we can get the twist out. And again, I'm just going to do a little back stitch. Just tack that in place. Oh, this is why I only use short periods things of thread, so I don't have this issue. It's big back stitch. It's okay. Oh my goodness. This is a nightmare. Sorry, guys. The rabbit hole has turned into a nightmare. And see, I've got it going the wrong way. We're just going to have to do a little bit of corrective maintenance on that. Turn. This way. This way is okay. So I'm just going to hold this and I'm just going to do a running stitch down here. And again, it's okay if the stitches show. It's a snippet strip. So it's more like a basting running stitch than a small itty bitty running stitch. Caught the one over the front seats. Awesome. See, I would love to have just one of those little camper trailer things with the truck built right into the thing so that it's all one piece. Motorhome, I guess. Ron's talking, he's looking for a little bowler camper. Sort of. Okay, so I just stitched that down. Another blast of color. I really like this purple stuff too. We can add that on the other side of this. I think that... What is this? What is this? Oh, it's part of that fray. It's a fray, guys. Get rid of the fray. This has to actually go underneath that because otherwise the star is covered up. We want the star. So I'm just going to tuck it. Just tuck it in a little bit. Ooh, look. Doesn't quite go to the edge. It's okay. We'll just wing it. Maybe. First, I have to finish this off. Hey, Pixie, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. We thought about that. You know, I actually wanted to do a school bus, but because we are aging and it'd be a big build. Not to mention it would take up an awful lot of space on our driveway. Like our driveway's only 50 feet long, 40 feet, something like that. And with our vehicles and the double door garage, it's, yeah. Hope you're doing good, Pixie. I am working on a fiber snippet strip today. I am hand stitching everything because I don't have a sewing machine that is operating at the moment. So we started with this little piece of colored center, put on the red, some lace, and then these two pieces. Then I decided that I would embellish while I was online so that you guys could get some ideas of different things you could do on them. So again, we're going to take this and we are going to tuck it under just because I put that star sequin and I really would like it to be seen. Got a knot in it, so we're going to start at the bottom here. Not that it's the bottom. Oh, I'm sure it was wonderful on the Autobahn. Definitely. Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to do. School bus to an RV. That makes sense, Renee. It really does. Okay, so I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to do a running stitch along this edge, holding the red down underneath. And again, it's a running stitch. It's a basting. I'm using it as a basting stitch to hold it together. If the stitching remains seen when I am done, it's okay. This is a snippet strip. We're not going for an embroidery award or a stitching award. See, it's not under. And I didn't catch that red. It's okay. I will catch it now for sure. I will make sure I catch that red under there. There we go. So it's not even straight. You can see it, you can't see it. Again, I missed that piece right there. Those of you who do fiber arts and embroideries and things like that, I can hear you cringing at me. I really can. And I understand. I never said that I was a good stitcher. I know how to do it. It's been a very long time since I've done it. But the fun thing is, I like hand stitching, to be honest with you. I don't know why I don't do more of it. It's very relaxing. I know I sure enjoyed working on that piece from that fiber art course that I took. And I really do enjoy doing my bead embroidery. I just don't think to do it. Oh, I'm sure you are. Babies are good for that. Sorry to hear you're having a rough time of it, though. I just actually saw a very interesting thing, and I shared it on my page, on my own page, that when somebody has a new baby, everybody goes to see the new baby, but you should actually give the mom some attention because she's doing it all. She's everything to that baby. She's the one that needs the help. And that really does make sense to me. There's so much postpartum depression that, there we go. So you can see it, but only if you're really looking for it. $17 months? Oh my, yeah. That's a busy age. All right, so I like the pops of red. I like this stuff too. Let's put another piece of that over here. Maybe I should go this way this time. What do you think? This way? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I built out a school bus. That's awesome, Anne. Yeah, frozen meals, do some laundry, clean the kitchen. Exactly. Exactly. I agree. Okay, so I'm going to put this over here. Just going to catch this edge of the red. Never really decided what kind of things we could do on the reds. Maybe I will do some Lazy Daisy embroidery on this side, on the red. That could be kind of cute. This is like when we do the snippet rolls out of scrap paper that you can doodle on every piece. You can leave pieces alone. And then I'm going to go along here. Again, this is just tacking it down, running stitch. No. One of my friends, her granddaughter never slept through the night until she was about 12 years old. It was brutal. Have no idea who that is. I'm not going to answer it. Yeah, they fight it. They want to see what's going on. My daughter would fall asleep to the vacuum, so I would leave the vacuum running. So that she would have a nap. That was my older daughter. To this day, she doesn't sleep worth a darn. And she's 40 something. There we go. I've got that piece stitched down. All right. So this is here. Should we do like a nice lazy daisy kind of thing in the middle of that? Little people insomniacs. I was very, very fortunate that Ron worked afternoons when I had my older daughter. So he would come home from work at midnight. So I could sleep until he went to bed. He'd stay up till about 4 a.m, do the 2 o'clock feeding, deal with her. It was lovely. Absolutely lovely. But then she was sleeping through the night at just a few months old because my dad built, he replicated a 15th century cradle, and it was on leather straps. So it would rock and move every time the baby moved, or even with the breathing, it had a gentle rocking motion. So if she started fussing, it would rock her back to sleep. Very, very fortunate. But yeah, she would not nap during the day. So it was probably because she slept at night. Yeah, but the thing is like he did one for my sister and one for me. And so when my grandkids were really little, we used it. Once they started moving around or even starting to sit up kind of thing, we couldn't use it because they would have tipped out. My niece-in-law wouldn't use hers for that reason. It wasn't baby safe. Okay, so I thought like a lazy daisy or something along that line. I'm actually thinking maybe using a blanket stitch to do them because those are nice, right? Those are kind of cute. Or we could do something like this starburst. Let's do a starburst. They're nice and easy, and I'm lazy. So basically, you just do long stitch, go back to the center where you started, and you just kind of work your way around. And they don't all have to be the same length, right? The center does get a little bulky, but it's fun. And then too, these cradles were big. They were like 4-poster cradles. They were gorgeous. I still, like, we both still have ours. Don't know what's going to happen to them when we pass. I mean, I don't even have mine set up because it takes up so much room. Remember, with a snippet roll, we're just going for eclectic and whimsical. It doesn't have to be huge and fancy, and it's up to you. just read somebody's post on Facebook that said that she figures she's been doing too much doodling on her painting, and I just kind of said to her, the saying is, art is never finished, it's only abandoned. You'll find your rhythm. For how much doodling to do and what kind? Oh, awesome. That's a cool thing. So that's just kind of fun, just the way it is. I could put French knots at the end of them if I want to, or I could just leave it. I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just going to take this to the center, loop it under a couple of the stitches at the center, and tie a knot. And you can see I've pulled a couple of the stitches a little tight. We've got a little bit of a pucker happening. Adds interest. Adds interest. Now it's done. Clip it. Okay, so we can always add more lace. I should probably add some more of that lace. Maybe there. Or I can add, those are big pieces of doily, like really. They're lovely. I'm sure that hangs over too big, because if I was to put this on here, this is way deep. Way deep. So I wouldn't be able to get this nice scallopy edge in. Average active. I guess maybe I could go like this with just one of these flower things. Still, it goes over both sides. I think I could get away with it. Might have to pull those in just a little bit, which is fine. Let's see what happens. Let's cut this thing out here. I can chew better than these scissors cut. Oh, I'm sure that's a lovely way to fall asleep. Nice and cozy. Almost like a cocoon, right? Okay, so I've got these little sticky out things. I'm going to trim them. I don't know if this is going to unravel or what the heck it's going to do. I know a lot of people do like to run a little bit of glue around the edges because I can see that it might want to fray. If I go this way, maybe it doesn't need to be on the red. What happens if I just have it on the black? I like that just on the black. And then I could do some beadwork in it. Oh, instead of beads, what about, well, they're beads, but where are they? I just have them. What about using like these little pearls? What do you think? I kind of like it just on the black by itself. Didn't care for sleeping. I'll have weighted blankets. Yeah. I love weighted blankets. I used to do denim quilts and they were really, really heavy. And of course, it fit a queen size bed, barely, barely covers this king size that we just got. So I don't really have a weighted blanket, but I crocheted that one and it weighs 5.5 pounds. I have to have weight on. Yeah, sense of humor is a sign of intelligence. Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I just want this against the black. And I don't even think I want it with this. I think that would make just a really nice little medallion kind of thing for the front of a journal. Yeah, I was using yarn, Belinda. I was trying to get rid of all my yarn. Okay, let's stitch this down. That's not that needle. I can't see where I put that other needle. Where are you, other needle? Right there. Right there. Hope that's the one. I think so. I think that's a needle we were using. If it's not, there's a rogue needle around, and I'm sure my feet will find it later. No, this wasn't the needle I was using because the other one I could put beads on. Oh dear. Uh-oh. It was this needle. Look, I matched the thread it with embroidery thread. Okay, we're going to swap that out. This one goes on the magnet. This embroidery floss goes over here. And we're going to use just regular thread. Weighted blankets are the best. Can't see to thread the needle. We'll do it. Here we go. Tie the ends in a knot. It'd be nice if you kept them together, Kim. I have cast iron frying pans, and I made breakfast burritos this weekend to put in the freezer. So I was doing a dozen breakfast burritos. So doing the hash browns, they kind of stick at the bottom of the pan because I didn't put much oil in because I'm trying to stay away from lots of oil. And so I had to scrub it off. So I used baking soda and dish soap for a nice scrub. And I have made my thumb end raw from doing that. Okay, so I have to figure out how I want to tack this down. I wonder if I just go around the center, if that's going to hold it well enough. We'll find out. I know, Pixie. That I had that same kind of dilemma when my kids were little. Because you need to craft for your own sanity, yet you need to sleep for your own sanity. Do you knit or crochet or hand quilt at all, Pixie? Because I found that I could do those sorts of things. Look, I caught the fabric again. What is with this today, Kim? You are just not the brightest hammer in the drawer. your sharpest knife or whatever. Yeah, so I did a lot of knitting and crocheting when my kids were little so that it was easy to put it away and it wasn't quite as all over the place. So I was still managing to create. Knit, crochet, embroider, perfect. Yeah, does she like to craft? Do they still have those lace up cards? I remember when my kids were little, I made some lace up cards so that it was in the shape. I cut it out of cardboard and put holes in it and then used a shoelace so that it looked like she was sewing as well. But I mean, if you're using shoelaces, you do have to keep an eye on them. Yeah. We were laughing about the oral phase. My oldest grandson had to taste everything, and he used to love spending time in the shop. But you really had to watch him because he would like lick the little dust brooms that we used for cleaning up uh, shavings and things. Huh, that will work. I guess she's too little to demand that you crochet all those fun, fancy stuffies for her, too. My girlfriend's kids have such a menagerie of stuffies. All right. So that's kind of cute, just on the dark, like that. Hangs over the edges a bit. But still, if I'm going to make this really nice and big with beads and some sequins, maybe a little bit of embroidery so that, some French knots or something. I'm going to make it pretty and I'm going to cut it and I'm going to use that on the front of a journal. Okay, lace up cards are still available. Excellent to know. Excellent to know. Okay, I'm going to take another piece of thread because that's not very long. Let's just put this up here. We're going to move this. Another fun thing for them to do, Pixie, is if you take pictures of your family and you blow it up to like a 8x10 and you put it in a sheet protector and give them dry erase markers, they draw eyes and mustaches on family members. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I do too. And it's not like such a stark black either. I mean, I might do some because I've got this whole piece, right? And I don't know what I'm going to use it for. Maybe I'll just do a bunch of these and use them as fodder. The other thing I saw that was a lot of fun was that kids fun foam. You cut it into different shapes, or you can buy them in shapes, right? I would probably make bigger shapes because she's still little. If you spritz some water on a window, like if you have patio doors, it will stick to the window and she can make really fun decorations. Favorite blanket? Oh no. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, Anne. Especially if it was his favorite blankie that he lost. My kids used to do that too, but they were older. You know, I would be working on a quilt and they'd go, "Oh, that's for me." It's like, really? So I have some really big white, off white pearls, almost pink. One in the center. What do you think? I've got bigger ones. I have bigger ones. I got a whole bunch of those pearl things because I was using them for the fish curtain I did. I was using them as eyeballs. We're going to put this underneath because I can just see those going all over the place. Is that too big? We're going to put that on my chair. That white one. Oh, that's awesome, Anne. Is that too big? I think that's way big. Something about that size, but pearl. Although, this one's kind of cool. What do you think? That one? This is. Can you see it? It's coffee time for you? That's so awesome. What do you think? Is the center for that? Whoa, it's not tied down, silly. Fits beautifully in that space. Yeah, it's a bead. So let's just use it. So there. So I'm just going to back stitch again. I like things to stay where they are. And that is going to be hidden by the bead. There is a knot underneath. Oh, thanks. I am having fun with it. Then we're just going to go right into this other side. And I want that to be flat. So I'm going to have to go through it a couple of times. Sorting buttons. Awesome. That's awesome. My daughter liked sorting too. When her and her sister were fighting, I would have them sort soup mix. I would give them each a cup of soup mix to sort so that they, had some downtime from the fight. And she would do things and bring them to me and go, she would break them. I accidentally broke this on purpose. Can I sort soup mix? To this day, she loves sorting. And by soup mix, I mean the mixture of like rice and lentils and beans and peas. Yeah, accidentally on purpose. Definitely a character, that youngest one of mine. Very, very creative. Come on, come on. Just making sure it's good and tied tight. Good and tied tight, tight and tied, good. Yeah. I had coasters with cork backs. So she would take a coaster and peel the backing off. So she had a few to do. That's fun. That is fun. So, now what? Hey, Beth, welcome, welcome. I am working on a snippet roll. Oh, colored rice? Awesome. I love those sensory bins. So this is where we started. I want to show how to sew on Mardi Gras beads. And we did some stitching, some embroidery. I'm just having fun, but I had this piece of lace with all these big medallion things on. And I didn't kind of like it with this stuff, so I figured I would do it separately, Beth. So then I found a nice bead to put as the center. Oh, pardon me. Now, pardon me. I have these that I could put. I can trim out these bottom bits and put these around. I think they're a little big. And I really like those knots in there. I really miss having grandkids around. Yeah, do you put stuff in with the rice to find? And do you do one of those for in the car? Do you take, like, my kids, grandkids, we used to have like a water bottle because it was clear and we had the rice in it. And then we put other stuff in there so that they could play I Spy and find, turn it and twist it and do that. That's awesome, Jan. Sequins? Sequins could work. Or, well, I was thinking of little white pearls. I've got some little ones. Let's find a container that I can dump some into. Look, I dumped those. So I've got little white pearls. Oh, they're more blue than white. But I could put little pearls in each of those. Well, let's just throw a bunch around and see what we think. What do you think? Some of these holes aren't as big as the others. Some of these things are not like the other. Okay, so if we did it so that they were in the between the petals on the flower. Oh, that's much better. So there's one between each. Goodness, can't even pick up a stinking bead right now. You know, it'd be nice if I had white pearls because you can really see the difference between. But I want little ones. Put a lid on this box. Those are all really good. Okay. I think I like them better with the white. All right, am I going to be able to get these back in here? Maybe I need a different container. Is that pretty full? Sorry, guys. I'm on a mission. Oh, yeah. It is. That, and you can color popcorn, too. Popcorn kernels. Oh, I guess I should put those away. Do they still make the paint with water books? Okay. These are not Mardi Gras beads. My girlfriend brought me these. These are all strung. Got them at the dollar store. I used to do those with my kids too. That's why I asked if they were still available because... Okay, so let's use the white ones. Oh, I like the white ones much better. What do you guys think? True. Very true. Spritz bottle and a rag. What do you think? I don't know if you guys can see it. I need to put something under it so I can lift it up so you guys can see it. Can you see it? Stuck her face in the watercolors. Perfect. You see it? What do you think? Is it okay? Yeah? Okay. Let's do this. Let's start putting them down. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Anne. I was just thinking the same thing. Just thinking the same thing. So I'm going to try and go across the widest part. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I'm liking that. You know what? I think I'm going to knot it after each one. Almost makes me want to pull out a piece of black broadcloth and do it on pure black. Oh, no. That's awesome, Pixie. Oh, this is going to be very pretty, guys. So skip the one on top and go where the petals are joining. It's lots of fun. Am I on screen, guys? You can see what I'm doing. So we've gone down a rabbit hole. Snippet rolls to, I don't know. Done it again, guys. I've done it again. Now, this is interesting. Some of the flowers have two between, and some only have one between. It's okay. We've got this. Coffee break needed? Right on, Beth. I'm on screen. That's good. So I'm putting the two down and then tying a knot. You know what? Creativity is one of the best things for kids to learn. Teaches them decision making, teaches them so many things. Well, well, I'm going to say something rude about that bead going away. It's in a bin over there. Not happy. I'll have to get another one. And it's going to stay where it is. Oh, very cool. Very cool, Anne. Okay, let's make sure that I'm not buckling this, because I would not like it to be buckled. I'm trying to get as close to the medallion. I don't know. That's not really a medallion. Medallions are round. Yes, no? Okay, these are down here. Let's just grab another one of those because it's easiest. You did early child ed? Okay. Well, guys, my desk was clean when I started. Really, it was. Sorry, I just had to have a slurp of tea. Oh, twisted. No twisting. No twisting. Why are you twisted? What have you done? There we go. Ha. Didn't want to play nice. Cub Scouts. Yeah, zillion birthday parties. Yes. Anne is very awesome. Guys, you're all awesome. I think that's, this community that we have is so fabulous because everybody brings something different to the table and we can all learn from each other. Just love our community, guys. I really, really do. You know what? This would be really nice at the top of a spine on a journal. So this is going to come off this snippet roll. I'm thinking. That's pretty, guys. Didn't take very long to do either. Whoa! Another pair of scissors bites the dust. We'll just leave that down there too. Okay, we're going to get rid of this light again. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now what can we do to it? I'm almost thinking if I did a leaf in here, like those leaves, like I did the chain stitch leaves in 3, and then a couple of French knot flowers in color, would that be okay or would it swear at it? Or if I took crochet cotton, not necessarily white, I could take any color of crochet cotton, just for a little punch. What have I got? If I took crochet cotton and just did some stitching in around this do some sort of stitching in around those just with the crochet cotton? Oh, that's great, Jan. How about like if I did chain stitch, like chains in each one? Thoughts? Do we like it just black and white? Yeah, I'm sure. Definitely. Because so often you can't understand somebody else's toddler when they're talking, right? Because they have their own verbiage, you know? I could do orange, I could do red, I could do red. Would that make it look too Christmassy? Oh, definitely, and I agree that. I don't know, guys. I'm really torn here about what to do with this. Come back later? Yeah. Because I do like it just the way it is. And I will leave this red out so that I can use it on this snippet roll. Okay. This is not going to be part of the snippet roll now. I'm going to embroider down this red stripe here with crochet cotton. Oh, I'm sure it's really frustrating. Okay, I'm just going to lop off a hunk of red crochet cotton. Oh dear. That's It's been 3 hours, guys. I'm going to do this bit of embroidery and call it a day. And I hope I have given you some inspiration on doing a fabric strip. Fabric snip. Yeah, I didn't know if I liked the red either. I liked the orange better. Or I felt I liked the orange better. Uh-oh. That makes sense, Pixie. That makes sense. My older daughter was speaking in sentences at a year. My younger daughter used to just point and go, ugh. Okay, got the needle threaded. Yay! But not in the end. Well, the first one was orange, and I liked it better. Um, yeah, I don't know. Okay, we're going to do a chain stitch down this red stripe here. This one here. See, that's the same. And like my younger daughter didn't speak, but my older daughter interpreted for her. And yeah, that's what it was. Okay, so I'm doing a chain stitch. Trying to get them reasonably even. You know what else is very cute that I would like to incorporate is some braided yarn. Do a braid and then stitch it down. Again, guys, limited by your imagination. You do what feels right to you. Oh dear. He had his own language. Oh, got yes men banging on, tapping away here. Oh, that's true, Pixie. That they're more attentive to what you're doing because they don't know if you're going to give them a direction or something, right? Or ask a question. That makes big sense to me. Big sense. Oh, can't talk, can't. All right. Just a couple more stitches and it's done for now. I should actually do this whole piece because then I've got something to put on those lovely spools that Ron made me. True, Anne. I bet you that's right. I bet you that's very true. My stitches are getting bigger. Stitches are getting bigger. Don't want to get too close to the edge because that edge will fray. All right. I'm just going to tie this off now. I'm going to do 2 stitches in this end stitch to tie it down that little bit better. before I flip it and put a knot in it. Oh, I didn't explain how I did that. Did you catch it, Belinda? About yelling from room to room. Belinda, do you need me to show you how to do that stitch? I can do that stitch again. It's called a chain stitch. It's basically the same one you do if you're doing a lazy daisy or like those little leaves I did. Oh, that's scissors. Okay, I will use this piece of beige so that you can see what I'm doing. So, did a knot. Take it from the back to the front. And I like to work away from me for this one. So you make a loop, okay? You go into this hole that you came out of, or as close to as possible. And you go a distance away. I guess that's about half an inch. And you pull it up. Do a loop. Same stitch. Does that make sense, Anne? Loop. Same stitch. Yeah. This is really nice decorative stitch. And then to finish it off, you just go on the other side of the end one and you pull it down, just like for a lazy daisy stitch. And it tacks it down. I always do it twice before I tie a knot. Makes a nice border, makes a nice, just and then you flip it, do the knot. The back just looks like a straight stitch. Okay, so that's what the back looks like. Just straight, on the camera cam, just straight stitches. And the front has the loops. This is very nice with the ribbon. I like doing this with yarn. Depends on how thick you like it. When I do stitching on cards, a lot of times I will do this stitch for journals, right? Because you just need to do a line of holes and then they're ready to use. Yes, no? You've got it? Awesome. Yeah, like you can do borders like all the way around. Something different. Something different. New stitch. Yay! Learned something. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here. This is what we've done. Did the chain stitch on down that stripe of red. I'm going to do where the white goes around the diamonds. I'm going to do some sort of stitching in there. Not sure what I'm going to do, but it'll be stitched. We've got the elephant. I'm going to outline that on both sides of the black. Not sure what I'm going to use. Maybe just a white thread. We've got the bow, we've got little French knots and flowers. Showed you how to tack down. Bye, Stacy. Tack down Mardi Gras beads. How to put on sequins with beads and just a little stitch starburst thing. So we had some fun. And then this that I don't know what I'm going to use. Don't know. Anyway, thanks very much for being here. Thanks everybody up in the balcony. Thanks for all the replayers. It's great to see you all. I will be going live at 12:45 on Friday. I'm not sure if Jean's going to be able to come and play. Hopefully she'll have all her shipping done. And we will think of something fun to do. Take care, everybody. Have a lovely couple of days. Until I see you again. Take care now. Bye. And we can find the mouse, but can we find the cursor? Wrong way. There it is. Okay, guys. Take care. Hugs to you all. Bye now.